Muin aimed at Noah and raised his water gun to shoot some water at her. Noah changed into a pink swimsuit and tied a bun. She was a bit flustered about Muin's water gun attack. Due to the lack of a water gun in her hand, she was unable to retaliate promptly against Muin. She lifted her arm and covered her face, trying to block Muin's attack. She whispered, "Muin, you." Seeing that Noah was unable to counterattack, Muin continued to attack her with the water gun in his hand. She sprayed water at Noah with a water gun while running towards her. She said to Noah, "Noah, look at my splashing attack." Noah cannot withstand the power of a water gun. She closed her eyes tightly, continuing to block Muin's attack with her hands while quickly retreating. Taking advantage of Muin's inattention, Noah quickly put her hands into the pool and splashed a large amount of water on Muin. She said to Muin, "Look at my attack." Muin raised her hand to block Noah's attack. A very happy smile appeared on her face. She felt very happy to play with Noah. Not far away, Leon and Roswitha sat on a bench next to the pool. The distance between them has widened significantly. They silently watched Noah and Muin playing in the pool, with no intention of playing with them for the time being. Due to what happened last night, both Leon and Roswitha seem unwilling to get close to the pool. Roswitha pretended to be calm and asked Leon, "Why don't you play with them?" Leon felt a bit nervous about the question from Roswitha. However, he also pretended to answer her calmly. "Because we soaked in the hot spring pool for so long last night. Anyway, I just want to stay away from the pool now." Upon hearing Leon's words, Roswitha couldn't find a reasonable explanation to answer Leon for a moment. She frowned slightly and looked at Leon. Last night, it was just. Before Roswitha could finish speaking, a strange voice sounded near them. "Oh, what a lovely child. Are you their parents?" Roswitha turned her head and looked at two dragons nearby. She answered them. "Ah, yes." Leon turned his head and also noticed two unfamiliar dragons standing not far from them. A couple of dragons walked hand in hand towards the location where Leon and Roswitha were. The man has short black hair, a pair of golden eyes, and is wearing a blue short-sleeved hoodie. The woman has short brown hair, a pair of red eyes, and is wearing a thin swimsuit. The woman smiled and raised her hand, introducing herself to Leon and Roswitha. "Hello, my name is Yuna. This is my husband, Zai. Can we sit down and chat for a while?" Roswitha also gave a polite smile to Yuna and Zai. She lifted her hand and introduced her and Leon to them. "Of course, I'm Roswitha, and he is my husband Leon." Leon nodded silently and gently waved his hand, greeting them. Upon hearing Roswitha's words, Yuna expressed her gratitude to them with great joy. She took Zai's hand and sat with him on another empty bench. They started chatting with Leon and Roswitha. "We're newlyweds currently on our honeymoon. We originally planned to go to Emerald Sea to play, but we heard that there has been a Dragon Clan dispute nearby recently. In order to avoid getting into trouble, we come to here." Upon hearing the news from the dragon couple, Roswitha felt a sense of crisis. She lowered her head slightly and pondered for a moment. I didn't expect Constantine to act so quickly. Although the Emerald Sea is far away from our territory, I still need to closely monitor their movements. Seeing Leon and Roswitha looking so close, Yuna couldn't help but feel curious. She said to them, "You look like you've been married for many years, and your relationship is also very good." Upon hearing Yuna's words, Roswitha smiled awkwardly a few times. She gently waved her hand, trying to conceal her embarrassment at the moment. She said to Yuna, "Haha, many dragons have said the same thing." Leon furrowed his brow slightly. He felt a bit speechless about Yuna's evaluation. He didn't know how she judged that he had a very good relationship with Roswitha. He silently said in his heart, "Do we seem to have a good relationship? Although our child can run around now, we only kissed for the first time last night." Noah and Muin are still happily playing in the pool. Muin clenched the water gun in his hand and sprayed a large amount of water towards Noah. Noah is also unwilling to be outdone. She found a swimming ring from somewhere in the pool and lifted it up to block Muin's attack. Seeing Noah and Muin playing together, Yuna felt very envious. She said to Leon and Roswitha, "I envy you all for having two such lovely children." At this moment, Yuna lowered her head slightly, as if feeling a little shy. She gently scratched her face with her hand and cautiously asked Leon and Roswitha, "My husband and I have been considering whether to have children recently. As experienced dragons, can you give us some advice for reference?" Upon hearing Yuna's question, Roswitha shifted her gaze away. She thinks this question is a bit difficult for her. She found it quite difficult to explain to them the situation between her and Leon, nor could she easily clarify the reasons behind Noah and Muin's existence. She nervously rubbed her fingers and stuttered out a fabricated answer. Actually, it was my husband who said he wanted to be a father at that time. I didn't think much about it and agreed him." Seeing the awkward appearance of Roswitha, Leon covered his mouth with his hand and couldn't help but secretly laugh. He silently mocked her in his heart. She-Dragon is quite good at making up stories. He came up with different answers based on her response. High emotional intelligence. I didn't think much about it at the time. Low emotional intelligence. Under the influence of the blood curse. There is no chance to think too much. Leon smiled at Yuna and expressed his viewpoint to her. This kind of thing will come naturally. You don't have to force yourself. Nor do you have to force your husband. And don't be afraid of it. Just go with the flow. At this point, Zai also had some questions to ask Leon. "Mr. Leon, do you usually argue? How did you resolve the argument?" Upon hearing Zai's question, Yuna covered her face with her hands and felt very shy. She explained to Leon and Roswitha, "Oh, sometimes I'm a bit too dominant, so we occasionally argue over trivial matters." Leon gave a mischievous smile and quickly approached Roswitha. He lightly bumped his shoulder against that of Roswitha and answered Zai, "I can't answer this question. Although my wife is tall and appears aloof and super fierce, she actually likes to act spoiled. Right, my wife?" Leon covered his mouth and secretly laughed a few times. Upon hearing what Leon said, Roswitha felt a little angry. She silently said in her heart, This guy is secretly mocking me. In order to retaliate against Leon's ridicule, Roswitha forced her to hold back her anger. She pressed tightly against Leon and secretly squeezed his waist with her hand. She gave him a forced smile and said to him, "Dear, how embarrassing it is for you to say that approximately." Leon felt very uncomfortable in his waist. He exclaimed softly, "Oh, is that so?" Zai lowered her head and let out a soft sigh, as if feeling a bit disappointed. Just then, Leon's voice sounded again. "But even if a woman is strong, she still shows her soft side." Leon recalled that, as a queen, Roswitha had a very serious side, but sometimes she also showed a shy side. Leon continued to say to Zai with a serious look as he hugged Roswitha, "At this moment, no matter what kind of person you are usually, you should stand up and firmly protect your wife." Upon hearing Leon's words, Roswitha froze in place. She stared at him blankly, feeling a bit moved. "I think this is a responsible man." Leon gave Zai a thumbs up and a cheerful smile. This is the principle of a good man that he has summarized.
Hi! Pineapple has a good news to tell you. My app Lullaby can now be downloaded on the App Store and Google Play. You can search for Lullaby Light Novel in the search bar to find the app. After downloading the app, you can read our exclusive novels and comics more easily on your mobile phone. If you are interested, you can download Lullaby from the App Store and Google Play.